girls. Today I'm going to show you some basic steps to making a rose. You're going to need a pencil, a piece of paper, I just use printer paper, and crayons later to color and create that value that you see, which makes the petals and the flower have a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. When you have your paper, the first thing I want you to do is fold it to make sure we have the same measurements. So we're going to begin by folding it vertical, nice tall fold, and then fold it horizontal, corner to corner. And so you should have what looks like a plus sign or the letter T. Starting with your hand about 4 fingers down, you're gonna make a dot on the folded vertical line, and then you're going to draw a small spiral. Be careful, because the spiral line's a lot of fun and you just wanna keep going. You want it to be about the size of your finger. After that, we will start building up the petals. The petals of a rose are very detailed. That's what makes a rose a challenging drawing. When you look at the rose, you have some tiny petals that are in the center. There's one that points up, one that points to the side, and the other one that points to the side. That's 1, 2, 3. Then we will build up our 2 big ones, a third, and then we'll get the body. And these big petals we'll save for last. So starting back with the 3 here, my first one is pointing up, and it's just gonna have a curved shape to it, kind of with a little point and come down. A flower is an organic shape. So whatever curve that you're creating, as long as you're staying in the same size and scale with me, will turn out beautiful. The next one that is coming to the side is going to touch the last petal. So it doesn't start below it, it touches it a little, and then it curves all the way around and stops about halfway. My next petal is on the side, coming again right around that curve, and it's gonna come down to that halfway line. So as you draw those petals, review. Your first one is pointing up, about as wide as your finger. Your second one overlaps with your first petal, comes all the way around and crosses just a little bit past the halfway line. Third petal touches the first one, goes around and touches the halfway line. Now we mentioned that we were gonna work, so we've got 1, 2, 3. Now we're gonna work on these that overlap and are a little bit larger, and they almost go from the top of the folded line all the way down and cross. Top of the folded line all the way down and cross, and they overlap here. So starting at the top of the folded line, I'm going up, around, around, around. I'm gonna get a little skinnier cross and stop. Next one going up, all the way around, crossing that line, overlapping and stop. Okay. There is one last tight small petal, and again it goes from the folded line all the way around and stops a little bit before the bottom of the folded line. So starting at the top, I go up, down, and in, stopping before the line. Now as we build up the body of the flower, it's gonna be like a U. And we're gonna make it about 2 fingers with a dot on the line. And I'm gonna start with this one. And if you look, there's a little curve here, then it goes in, and it's gonna get that U shape. And that's where our dot is right now. So again, I'm curving it up like a little tiny baby rainbow, bringing it in, start my U, bring my U, And I want to have it so that comes out a little. So this petal is past the line with the measurement. This petal now is going to curve, and in. I should be able to fit my finger inside that. The next one is going to curve, but you see that there's a little bit of space here. So it's going to go to the dot, and this will be the space. So it's going to connect from this one and curve down to the dot. So that is the center of my rose petal. And now I can start building up 1, 2, 3, 4 petals, okay? So I'm gonna start with this first one on the side, and it has a curve. It goes in and down, almost similar to the shape we did for the body of the rose. So coming down, I'm gonna go up and in, following along the body of the rose and getting skinny, and connecting it. So it's got that little curve coming out, okay? The next petal we're going to create is going to come down right here. These two that are kind of hiding behind we'll do next. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down, cross that folded line, and we're gonna put 2 fingers and make a mark. So we've got a mark on the side of the flower and at the bottom. And this is gonna be the flower shape. Don't worry about your flower shape so much, but if you look at how wide the flower petal is, that's what we want to focus on. It should be able to be 2, probably 3 fingers for you. So knowing that that's going to be kind of my shape and it's diagonal, that's going to be my petal right there. So I have one that's pointing to the side and one that's pointing diagonal. That's 3 fingers wide, and about 2 fingers I can fit. When we work on the next petal, this one's kind of hiding and following this shape. So it's just kind of hiding behind, hitting that horizontal line, coming around, and copying that shape. The last one is just hiding in here below this petal and allowing some space in between there. So now we have the shape of our rose. It still looks pretty flat because we haven't added any of the coloring for the 3-dimension. We're gonna add the stem and the leaves next. So the stem's gonna come down about a pinky thick as your measurement. And I'm just gonna kind of fade mine away to get skinnier. I'm gonna add the spikes on a rose, and they kind of look like little mountains or little triangles. And now I'm gonna get some leaves. So my leaf is gonna come out this way, and then I'm gonna have one that comes out this way. And that is about finger to knuckle, a little shorter. And I'm gonna get the shape of the leaf first and then go back and get the detail. So it curves out and then it gets skinny here. Curves out, comes down, and then gets skinny. To get the shape of a rose leaf, it has what looks like kind of like a V. And then almost some of these zigzags in the petals. Repeat the same thing here, get those V's And then we want to think about that shape being wide and then getting skinny. Zigzag and zigzag. And there is your rose. Roses come in lots of different colors, and Miss Samsel has lots of colors. So I'm gonna use a basic red rose, okay? And when we color our petals, we want to think about the pressure of coloring hard to get a dark value, not so hard that you break your crayon, and light to get a light value. So as I build up this flower petal, right here is gonna be my dark value. And I'm gonna slowly get lighter and lighter. So you might wanna watch before you color, because you can erase crayon, and see how it gets lighter and lighter. Until when it gets to the end, it almost fades away to nothing. And go back and outline the petal. Okay, so we have to continue to really get that effect. So this second big petal, I can outline with my crayon, and it's under here. So to show that, I have to get my dark value. It's really dark because there's no sunlight that gets underneath. And then I slowly get lighter. I don't want it to be dark and then light, so it's a value that slowly gets lighter and lighter and lighter until it fades away. So the part on the end that would get the most sun is going to be the lightest. And now when you're coloring, you can always go darker, but you can't go lighter, so you have to be careful with that. Now for the third petal, same thing. I'm gonna outline the shape of the petal with the crayon. I'm gonna show you a different way depending on what works for you. You can always start the opposite with light and get your lightest value, and then slowly get darker. And your darkest. So you can play around. You can always play around on a different piece of paper, coloring light to dark first to see if that helps you get the technique down. I'll do the other petal and then kind of outline in here and outline some value on the other ones. Darkest here. So now I've used green and red to create value in the flower. If you would like to pop out just a little bit more of value and lightness and darkness, you can't go lighter, but you can always go darker by adding just a little bit. Be careful, because we talk about how black is the strongest color. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of black way down deep where those petals are connected. Just a little. And then kind of go in there. Just to kind of pop it a little bit. I can do the same with the green. Right under here it would be the darkest. And there's my rose. I could continue on and make a whole big picture of it. I could cut it out. There's so many different things, so many different colors. Hopefully you enjoyed the quick demonstration on how to draw a rose. Can't wait to see what you create. Remember, be respectful, be responsible, be kind, and always be creative. See you next time.